Detox yourself. What kind of toxins would a real detox program remove? There's a lot of common misconceptions about detoxification. If you have an Instagram account, or a Twitter feed, or even a Facebook timeline, you probably have heard of detox. Maybe people have gone on a juice diet, maybe they have been juicing all sorts of fruits and vegetables. It seems like everybody and his dog is going on the detox bandwagon. Unfortunately, just like love, the more people use the word detox, the more confused everybody gets. It's as if two people are saying the word detox, but they are two totally different things. Please understand that the reason why people are talking about detoxification, in the first place, is because it works. Most people need a detoxification program, but what complicates things is the fact that the things that we readily assume are toxins are the least of our worries. There are many misconceptions floating around on Facebook about detoxification. First, most people look at it as simply physical in nature. They think that as long as you stay away from certain biochemical compounds, then you will be well on your way to better health. They feel that as long as you avoid certain chemicals, then you will regain your health, and you will be happier, more content, and more fulfilled. Other people are even under the impression that detoxification necessarily means buying all sorts of products like food supplements, and certain detoxification programs, or even hiring the services of gurus. What if I told you that all of these are wrong? These are commonly held misconceptions, and I can see why people believe them. After all, there's a tremendous amount of money to be made in the whole concept of detoxification, but the problem is most people find themselves barking up the wrong tree. People pay millions of dollars year after year, only to end up as depressed, stressed, and desperate as they began. If any of this sounds familiar, it should. This is precisely the kind of attitude we have when it comes to weight loss. Think about it, year after year, the global weight loss industry rakes in billions of dollars. I'm not just talking about diet books or weight loss supplements. This applies across the board. I'm also talking about gym memberships and all sorts of weight loss programs. The bottom line is people try these things, fail, and then try another program again. It's like a treadmill. They go on and on and on, and billions of dollars are generated year after year. Despite all of this seeming activity, nothing seems to change on the ground. People are still suffering from obesity. In fact, in the United States and Western Europe, there is an obesity epidemic. The same applies to the concept of detoxification. It's too easy to throw money at the problem, only to end up nowhere. Here's why. Keep reading to find out why. The real problem with detoxification is that people restrict it to physical things. What if this was the wrong idea? What if it turns out that we are barking up the wrong tree, or looking at the map wrong? Fact: most of us are spiritually sick. The real reason why detoxification, for many people, fails to deliver its promised benefits is that we are treating the wrong condition. We are defining toxins in purely chemical or physical terms. We failed to see that the real issue of toxicity has to do with our spiritual state. Most of us are spiritually sick, precisely because we feel we don't have any purpose. I'm telling you, that to-do list at work is not your life's purpose. I know it's very hard to believe, but it's true. Similarly, reading the syllabus for school, that is not your life's meaning. Aim higher, look somewhere else. The problem is when we define our lives based on our schedules, and based on our jobs, our titles, and societal expectations, the spiritual toxin gets stronger and stronger. That sense of meaninglessness and purposelessness that eats away at you at the pit of your gut, gross. It becomes menacing. The worst part of all of this is we think that this is the most natural thing in the world. It's as if you wake up one day and you realize that you're lost, but when you look around you, everybody is as lost as you. So what's the problem? Well, just because everybody's sick, doesn't take away from the fact that you have to take responsibility for your own spiritual illness. Fact: most of us are under a tremendous amount of mental and emotional pressure. Starting in the Industrial Revolution, factory owners started putting workers on the clock. That's how they were able to milk as much productivity from workers as possible. Prior to this point, people were farmers. Just by looking at the sky, they know when to get up, when to eat, and when to sleep. In other words, they were naturally connected with the earth and environmental cycles. That has been broken by the Industrial Revolution. And now that we live in the post-industrial age of Facebook and social media, and mobile devices, it has gotten even worse. Now, people don't read anymore. When they look at their mobile devices, they scan, they look for keywords, they look for interesting pictures. Then and only then would they stop and possibly pay attention. Whatever fragmentation the human mind went through, it has been multiplied billions of times thanks to social media and mobile devices. And believe me, it's going to get worse. It is no surprise that we are under a tremendous amount of mental and emotional pressure. How can we not be? We've been fragmented. Our attention has been atomized. Our sense of identity and wholeness has been redefined. Fact: any real detox program must not only deal with biochemistry but address spiritual and holistic issues. Given the two facts above and the trends that I mentioned earlier, the real definition of detox should become abundantly clear by now. The real answer must go beyond biochemistry. It must go beyond the things that we can physically see and detect. In other words, it must work with the spiritual and holistic issues that truly afflict us. You have to understand that somebody may be biochemically okay in terms of their blood tests, but if they're struggling with emotional, mental, and spiritual toxins, it will eat away at them. They're not going to perform at peak levels. They will lose that sense of adventure, curiosity, and discovery that makes life possible. Any real detox program must address this. It must go beyond the obvious. Sadly, most life modification programs out there, be they diets, wellness programs, or recovery regimens and others, are designed from the ground up to be temporary. They are intended to deal with a problem at one time. No wonder they don't leave much of an impact. They simply focus on making a problem go away at one time or at one phase of your life. These programs are almost episodic. If you are suffering from one issue at one time in your life, you need to adopt these programs. Once the danger or the hassle passes, you go back to doing what you were doing before. These areas are long-lasting as the typical diet. In other words, they aren't all that durable. Just as people jump from one diet to another, people go from one life solution after another. They rarely shoot for something for lasting. They rarely aim for a life full of victory due to fundamental change. In other words, they rarely go for something that will make their problem go away once and for all. No wonder so many lifestyle programs make so much money. They are intended to be temporary. They are intended to work just like any other product you can typically pick up at your corner convenience store. You pick out an item from a rack, unpack it, and then heat it up. Quick and easy. No fuss. No muss. Sadly, you get hungry again. In the case of lifestyle issues, you may be able to address the shallow symptoms and external indicators, but you're no closer to fixing the real deep-seated problem. Put simply, when it comes to the stuff that truly matters, you are no closer to resolution. No wonder your problems keep coming back. No wonder no matter how hard you try and how much money you spend, your problems keep coming back in one form or another. You have to shoot for something deeper. You have to aim for something more drastic and fundamental. Superficial solutions are not enough. You only end up a day late and a buck short with these solutions. Regardless of how many people swear by them or claim to have been fundamentally changed by them, they are all too shallow and superficial. Real change can only come from traveling a totally different path. This goes beyond diets. This means so much more than just changing your environment or surroundings. This goes so much further than affirmations or mental and emotional reprogramming. Don't get me wrong, the items above are very important and are much needed in some circumstances. But if you are looking for real fundamental change, you need to strike deep. You need a more far-reaching and more comprehensive approach that strikes at the core of your personal value system. The real solution? A holistic detox approach. By holistic, I'm talking about holistic. You have to look at not only the things you can see and readily detect but the things that you cannot see. Then and only then, would you be able to truly detoxify. This is the complete full-powered detox approach. Nothing else will do. What is so special about holistic detox? Most personal change programs suffer from the same limitations as conventional medicine. They slice and dice human beings into neat and tidy boundaries, separating the mind from the body and emotions. This is a mistake. There are so many people who are not physically sick but still manifest all sorts of symptoms because they are mentally and emotionally unwell. This can also work the other way around. Simply shifting back and forth from mental, emotional, and physical approaches don't go far enough. They only handle the symptoms. Just like with a typical diet that leads to some great initial weight loss only for all that fat and weight to come roaring back, non-holistic approaches don't produce lasting change. What's the point of achieving some improvement or boosting your health only to see it go up in smoke later because you attacked your problem from the shallow end? To achieve long-lasting life-transforming change that truly scales up over time, you need to do something different. You need to reach past the ordinary and the tried and proven, to produce the deep long-lasting changes that you have been looking for. If you are in any way, shape or form frustrated, unhappy, or feeling stuck with your lifestyle, you need to overthrow how you view your life. One of the best ways to do this is to learn to truly let go through a holistic detox system. Nothing else comes close. Nothing else would work. Seriously. No joke. If you want permanent change and you want maximum control over many areas of your life, it is time that you reach out for the ultimate reset or reboot button and go on a total detox system. There is a real solution out there. A lot of it is counterintuitive, but if you focus on a holistic overall detox system, it will reward you many times over. Thanks for watching it. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Like it and subscribe to Natural Heal and Cure.